Good morning, everyone. Here I am walking down the staircase of my apartment, getting ready to go meet Hector. Good morning. I'm heading over to the psych building. I'm gonna go meet our second interviewee, Hector Sanchez. So it's cold morning now. I regret not wearing a hat or gloves. Dress for the weather. I ended up getting lost in the psychology building, but I eventually found him.
I'm a neuroscience major. Specifically, I do research in language. I work in a psycholinguistics lab. It's basically, I try to understand how different groups of people process and understand words, sentences, that kind of stuff. Different groups being hard of hearing, kids, different age groups, that sort of thing. Originally from Puerto Rico, born and raised, moved in, 4 years ago, 2019, was that like 3.5, 4 years ago, here to Iowa, and I'm graduating in a couple months. Pretty excited about it.
As a college student involved in research, I first wanted to ask Hector how he himself got involved in it. Because everyone's path of getting involved in research is really unique to them as an individual.
My first 2 years of college were a bust. It was like 2019, 2020, boom, COVID hit. Didn't do anything for 2 years. Literally was just nothing. And then I came back to Iowa, was it like 2021 when we went back to like in person, like late 2021 or maybe 2022. I came back from COVID. I kind of met some people. They introduced me to research, and I started working in a lab and started getting paid for doing it, and that's kind of like how it started. 2 years ago. So it was in August. Jan Wassel here in the psychology department. He hosts like a cognitive neuroscience workshop for first gen students, and he just sent an email about it, and I emailed them back, and they let me go into the workshop and kind of like work with them. And funnily enough, his wife was giving a presentation in that workshop. She became my PI because I just met her there, and I talked to her, and she became my PA in that workshop.
A PI is known as a principal investigator. These are typically professors who are in charge of laboratories at research universities. Principal investigators do not need to be professors, and not all professors are principal investigators.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it works. It's really random, really. You go to events, you meet people, and then suddenly opportunities arise from meeting people. In my case, I never planned for stuff. It's just stuff happens.
So what does a normal day in the life for you look like?
I'd like to say I'm like one of those guys that wakes up 6 a.m. 6:30, I'm in the gym. Then I do like the protein shake, but that doesn't happen. I usually wake up like 45 minutes before I have to be anywhere. So it's like I'm a late starter. Go to class. My class is usually, and this is like tips for the next generation, don't do 8 a.m.s, man. Don't do 8 a.m.s. But now that I'm a senior, I have a lot of time free. Like some days I don't have class. So those are the days I'm typically in the lab doing work. For me, which I work with humans, I schedule slots of times in the week, and people from the university kind of like who want to participate, they sign up for those times. So my day is usually collecting data, going to class, and then maybe analyzing some data on the side. This semester I'm taking 3 classes, I think. Taking like 13 hours. I started the semester thinking this is 13 semester hours, easy, man. I've never had this little amount of classes, so 3 classes. And then I'm taking like some pretty tough courses, like my neurobio lab is super time consuming. It's not incredibly tough in the sense that the material itself is like overwhelming. It's the amount of time you gotta put into the class. It's like you gotta be there almost every day doing cell culture.
Cell culturing is the process of growing cells in a lab setting that involves taking cells from an organism and placing them into a petri dish with nutrients known as a culture medium.
Stuff like that, which is not necessarily what I'm used to, because I don't grow neurons in a lab. It's not what I do for regular lab work. It's just very wet lab and presentations over and over. And on top of that, I'm taking the neurobio class, the second class, and I'm taking like a psych course, which is my relaxing. It's pretty.
So how would you describe your college experience?
Have I enjoyed it? Like classes and all that in that sort of sense. I think I got what I needed. I got what I wanted from it, what I needed from the university. I wanted to do neuroscience. I got to take neuroscience, take a lot of good courses, and I got a job out of it. So I'm heading out and I'm getting a job at the NIH.
NIH stands for the National Institute of Health, which is a big dog organization here in the country that oversees a lot of research that goes on.
So I had a lot of opportunities that the university has had for like people like me and for other people interested in research. So in an academic sense, I've gotten what I needed and what I wanted, and I can't like really ask for more. In a like fun social sense, when I lived in dorms, I made a great group of friends that I've just been with for the last 4 years. Gone to football games. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been the college experience, right? You hang out, you do stuff, you go to class, and at the end of the day, you just want to be prepared for like what's coming next, which is either more studying, a shame, but it is what it is, or like a job. So like the workforce. So.
What was your best advice for getting involved in labs, for getting involved in research, for just even starting college?
I think the best thing you could do is like not be afraid to just email people and like start talking to people. Like you just go up to someone and be like, yeah, you're doing this, I kind of like that. I have this idea, even if it's the dumbest thing you could say. Like I think you could do this or that, like this, like experiment wise. You would be surprised how much they like for you to like try to like come up with your own even dumb ideas on their work. So when I talk to like researchers, I just show genuine interest in what they do, and that like opens a lot of opportunities for you. So like emailing them, and they're probably not going to email you back, so you email them again, and then you go up to a person that you saw some of their work because they talked about it or they mentioned something, and you're like, yeah, I'm interested in that specific topic for this or that reason, and then you just talk to them. It's just, they're normal human beings. At the end of the day, it's just, they're people who are doing like some work on some random topic, and they're always looking to talk about their research in any sort of capacity. So if you like go into their ego a little bit by talking with them and just like anything in that sort, I'm sure like you'll get whatever opportunities you want from them. So it really depends. And if honestly, if they aren't open to that sort of possibility, then don't work for them, because that's not the people you want to work with, right? If they're not looking for people, for like students to try to get involved, even if their ideas might not be as polished, then they're not like the right person to work with. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my method is because I've just been a little bit lucky in my career. My method of just randomly talking to researchers and just saying like dumb stuff. I don't know. Like I would just say, "What if you do this experiment?" And they're like, "No, that doesn't work at all." And then they just start talking about what could work. And I sound like big giga-braining.
Once I got to Hector's lab, I decided to ask him if he could give me a tour of the place so I could see what kind of equipment a psycholinguistic lab uses and to see what kind of experiments he has going on.
Eye tracking suite. So some of our experiments requires us to know where in the screen a person is looking. So you have like this camera and a person sitting here, and you would record their pupils as they look around a screen in some type of experiment. So that's where we do this, and then that information is going all the way to the other room where we have our computer to like control the eye tracking. So this is where we kind of like work with the data from.
So your chin rests on this thing right here.
Yeah. So that's kind of like. You gotta put like your chin there, and you can adjust this so you don't have to like actually like what I've done when we have to go to schools and something to collect data. You can take all of this with you. So you can take the eye tracker, you can take the computer, and then you can take the monitors and do this like anywhere. So it's same thing with the EEG. As long as you have like the computer and stuff, you would probably like take it anywhere.
Oh, is this? Do you typically do homework here?
I don't. I prefer to be home in my
Oh,
bed doing my homework. This is actually pretty bad. I don't have a desk in my house, so I have to do it in my bed, which is pretty
Oh shoot.
pretty tough.
And here, unfortunately, is where this interview ends. He had to get back to the lab, and so did I. All right, I'm gonna head out. Thank you again, Hector. It's been fun. How do I get out of here? All right, nice seeing you, Hector. Take care. Thanks for watching. Peace.
And put this in the vlog. CSD department. This is me, Hector Sanchez. You're doing a whole new building. You're relocating us right next to a laundromat. That's what I want.